fancy intro music. Yeah! Woo!
Hey there, Star Trek Fleet Command fans. Welcome back to another video where today, kind of doing a follow-up to yesterday, the event store is open. And I've had so many of you message me on Facebook, Discord, and even the YouTube comments. And by the way, I want you to do that. Comment section below. Put your comments there or hit that description button. See where it says see more? That allows you to see more. Like open your third eye. Bling! And see more. Hit me up on the Facebook page or Discord for the best ways to get a hold of me if you have questions about the game, any game, or particularly Star Trek Fleet Command, Marvel Strike Force, Eve Echoes, whatever. So let's move on to the event store and talk about what's in it. Now remember, what you see in the event store is going to be tied to your level. To give an example of this, what I'll do is I'll show you multiple. So on the right, like to your right now, this is my level 38. You see Botany Bay, you see the Plutonium, you see the Discovery, you see the Devore, Vidar, Stella. Basically every ship I can really get is available, plus tons of officers. All the Discovery officers are here for the most part, except for the brand new ones. We got uncommons, we've got rares, we've got tokens, we got everything. So it's all here. We also have, if you want to compare it, see here's my other account. This is level 26. This is going 12 levels lower. You see I've got the Franklin there. Some modulators, the Botany Bay, the Discovery, parts, Vidar, but no Stella because I'm level 26. Typically, you're only going to see the ship that if you're one level below where it starts at. So I can see the Mayflower because I'm 26, but I don't see a Saladin. You know, I don't see the Stella because I'm nowhere near 28 yet, which is where I would need to be to build those ships. But I still have good options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what I think you should get and what I think you should avoid. And we'll start from right to left. All of these frames and stuff can be very tempting. But I'll tell you right now, unless you're going to buy a lot of points, I don't think it's worth it. You have some that are cheaper than the others, like you got the T2 zone frame and the T1 and the lower deck, which I'll admit I am tempted because I do like the design of the frame. But save your points for other things. There's other things that are more important than avatars and frames, especially if you're a free-to-play or a Dolphin player. Don't waste your points. Now, ship XP is, I know, tempting for some people, but I'm going to tell you, stay away from this. This is taking away from more valuable things. It's honestly just best to go out and grind the ships. You've got officers to help with that. Don't waste them. Ship parts. The only people who I think should maybe consider this are 4-star ship parts. If you're a whale, those are the only ones. Missions, these are old missions. Don't bother with wasting them. Recruit tokens. This is kind of up to y'all. I am looking at the Discovery recruit tokens. I think the Discovery recruit tokens have been, in terms of the officers, have been great. But what you get is completely RNG based, and that makes it really tricky to make it a good recommendation. You don't always want to go for something that's chance. You want to get something that's a definite. And sometimes this ends up being 5 shards of something that you didn't need. So bear that in mind. It's kind of in my mid-tier go-to list, but on the low. Now here's one that I definitely think you should be going after. Independent credits. Whether you're free to play, well, whatever, you're going to need these to upgrade your officers. I am going to be going after these, you know, towards the end of the event because I want to upgrade my 5 of 10 to the next tier. And I need like 5,000 independent credits. So I'm going to get probably 3 sets of these and then that will be all I do. But you will want to look at these. This is on the top of the list of things to get. Tokens, I save these for the very end. Tokens and uncommons. I skip the rares, but uncommons and tokens, if you have just stuff left over and you need to spend, it's the last day of the event, then use it on this stuff because this stuff is typically pretty cheap. For example, Tritanium, 1,500 points for 2 million. For that, save these, the uncommons and the tokens, for when you're at the very, very end and you've already spent on the things that I'm going to tell you to spend on, okay? Like the independent credits and stuff. At the end, wait for that. All right, we're getting the officers. The number one officer I'm looking at right now is Philippa Georgiou. And especially for you Romulan pilots out there, I know a lot of you are like, well, I want a Romulan officer. Well, the best thing for your Romulan ship, like the Augur or the Tribune, even works well on the Kumari, is Philippa Georgiou. She is everything that we wanted Nero to be. with her secondary ability, 50% chance to deal burning for 2 rounds at the start of each round. And the key is at the start. That is a very important little note there. So makes her very, very good. She is expensive, 680,000 credits, which I think I'll be able to get close to, but we'll see how that plays out. Remember, epics are expensive. If you want to go for a cheaper option, Ash Tyler does work with Nero and is another good burning officer we just made a video on. He is essentially like a Odysseus Light, but can work well in certain situations. For example, he is phenomenal on Estella. Phenomenal on Estella, because remember, I kind of made the comparison. He's not necessarily meant for energy weapons, but the smaller weapons he benefits the most, and this dude can really lay on a punch on some of those weapons. So very, very good officer to go after. And this is the officers I'm pointing out are kind of like on my tier 2. So independent credits is tier 2. Officers tier 2. But my tier 1, I'm going to skip some of these, are ships. But not these. I'm going to tell you the number 1 has got to be the Vidar. If you don't have it, get it. Get the Vidar. All the Vidar. All of it. And it's only 76,000. It's literally get all the Vidar. All of it. All of it. I don't know why I always do that. Just get the Vidar, okay? Just get it. Next, if you do not have it, get the Franklin. I see I don't actually have a Franklin on here because I've already got like a Franklin. But get the Franklin. For some reason, it limits you to half of a Franklin. Get the half of that Franklin. Get a Franklin. Then, if you don't have it, get a Discovery. Get a Discovery. Get a Discovery. Get it. Get the Discovery. Click this button. Get it. And then finally, the Stella. Get the Stella. If you don't have it already, get the Stella. And this one, for some reason, doesn't have the other options to multi-buy, and I don't know why. But get the Stella if you're level 20 or above for doing those Eclipse grinds and everything. I'm hit or miss on the Devore. It is useful for Ferengi Monday. You're limited to half of this ship for some reason, and you can, once again, not do a full... You got to do 300 piece, but it's cheap. So 60 shards is only going to cost you 18,000 of these points. So it's cheap to go ahead and get that half and continue your free-to-play grind. But ships are number 1 because it goes so long before you can get some of these specialty ships. You don't know when the actual events roll around again. When's the next Borg event? Who knows? When's the next Apex event? Who knows? Get the ships now while you get the chance. Get them now. Do what I'm telling you. I'm repeating it over and over. Get the ships. Now, any of these, it's up to you. I will tell you that if you are in the level 33, level 34 range, this is saving you faction credits. I would say faction ships are probably on my tier 3 range. I would go specialty ships number 1, officers number 2, independent credits number 2, and then faction ships number 3. If you want to save faction credits, remember, you need 180,000 to get an Augur, a D4, an Enterprise. You need a lot of faction credits. This saves you in some of that. It is a very expensive, but it is something to consider because it will save you a little bit in the long run. And then other the officers that you have here, you've got a few different other ones. I'll let y'all decide if y'all want any of the others. The main two I want you to focus on, though, are going to be Philippa Georgiou and Ash. If you've been doing your pulls, a lot of you have already started to get Burnham. Because of the captain's maneuver, I do really like the officer ability. I do. But I don't like the captain's maneuver. I think it's kind of meh for an epic officer. So I don't recommend using that. Get it normally through pulls and hopefully that you can pull that card. Saru is not a bad officer, especially because he's a rare, which means he's going to be cheaper to get than some of the others. But his secondary ability, negative 30% to opponent's weapons damage. Remember, that's a base, but it can be built upon as he levels up. And then the crit chance at the top, yeah, it's not a bad. I actually don't mind that. It's kind of like a counter to Khan and a counter to a lot of these other big hostiles that we run into. So you can kind of go through there, but you can kind of see my main ones. Ships, couple of officers, faction ships if you want to save a little bit of faction credits, independent credits, and then finally wrap it up with these right here at the end. Remember, what I recommend doing, save every point you get until the end. Don't spend them now. Save them until the end of the event store. Save until the end and then make a list and then go through what you can get. These are my recommendations, and I would never lead you astray. I would never steer you wrong because I love y'all. And I appreciate y'all. And y'all are the reason the channel keeps going. Y'all are the reason the channel's amazing. Y'all are the reason that I have put on 10 pounds in holiday season. I've got to lose it because I'm fatty and I don't want to die. I don't want to die. But I love y'all. Live long and prosper. Stay safe, other space cowboys. And we'll catch you on the next exciting video. Star Trek Fleet Command. Winky face.
Fancy intro music, yeah! Woo!